Let's talk real quick. Let's talk about burnout. And I don't mean like just the kind where you're physically tired. I'm talking about like the deep kind. The kind where you wake up already exhausted. Where the things that you used to love, they don't hit the same. And you start going through the motions. And you smile when people ask how you're doing, but inside you don't feel nothing. I've been there. And I don't know, if you're anything like me, then you probably tried all of the usual advice. Take a break, go outside more, drink water, light a candle, delete all social media, maybe even sleep 8 hours for once. And sure, like those things help, but they never truly end up fixing it. Burnout isn't just about being tired. It's about it's more of being disconnected. Disconnected from rest, sure, but also being disconnected from purpose and being completely honest from yourself as well. I remember through a season where everything in my life looked fine on the outside. Work was steady, you know, I had a job, relationships were solid, I was doing all of the right things, but inside I felt empty. And I didn't know why. And I remember I kept asking God, like, where are you? Like, why do I feel so dry even though I'm doing everything that you've asked me to? And one night, I remember I just sat down and I just started writing. It wasn't a sermon. It wasn't a journal entry, just words. It was lines, honest ones. And some of them honestly didn't really make much sense when I went back and read it. But it wasn't about making sense. It was just me and God and the page. And then something had cracked open in me. Like God had been sitting right there the whole time, waiting for me to stop performing and just create with him. And that's when it really hit me. The cure to burnout isn't always rest. Sometimes it's work. And before, you check out and you say like, oh, well, I'm not artistic. Let me stop you right there. I'm not talking about being good at something. I'm talking about making space to express what God has placed inside of you. Somewhere in Genesis, it says that we're made in the image of a creator, which means creating is part of our design. Art is our way of reflecting Him, whether it's music, writing, painting, building, decorating, cooking. When we create, we're not just making things, we're communing with God. Burnout happens when we live out of duty instead of delight. When we're constantly pouring out, but we never stopping to create with the one who created us. I met a friend, pretty solid guy. He was in ministry and he was faithful, always helping others. But he hit a wall hard. And you know what God used to bring him back to life? Surprisingly enough, it was woodworking. I was not expecting it. I'm not even kidding. Like building furniture in his garage. He told me, I feel like I'm praying with my hands. And I feel like that's the beauty of art. Like, it's a form of worship. It's how we slow down and we listen. It's how we let God speak back, not through a sermon or a checklist, but through a brushstroke or a chord or a line of poetry, a melody in the shower. And sometimes the enemy would love for us to believe we're too busy to create. Art is a waste of time, that it's not productive enough. But that's his job. And God doesn't call us to live in survival mode. He calls us to abide, to live and breathe and create with him. So, like, if you're ever feeling a little burnt out or spiritually dry, emotionally numb, don't just collapse and wait for it to pass. Don't just check out and call it rest. Instead, create, even when nobody sees it. Especially if nobody sees it. Because art isn't about performance, it's about presence. And sometimes the most healing that you can do is sit with God and tell him, or and let him pull something beautiful out of ashes. That's not a waste, it's worship. And maybe, just maybe, that could be where your healing begins. But that's all I got to say.